Here.
Hanks.
Here.
Myers. Williams. Here.
Okay. Need a motion to recess this special meeting. There'll be a recess.
You have to recess the special meeting in order to reconvene the meeting of March 13th. We have to recess this first.
Motion to recess the special meeting.
Second. Second. Comments? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Benson. Burgess.
Yes.
Chavez.
Yes.
Hanks.
Yes.
Myers. Williams. Yes.
Okay, need a motion to reconvene, regular board meeting, March 13, 2012. Motion.
So moved.
Second.
Comments? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Benson. Burgess.
Here.
Chavez.
Here.
Hanks. Myers. Williams. Yes.
Okay, let's move to the public comment of the agenda. 2013, March 13, 2012, regular meeting.
This is for the meeting last week to make my comments that I did get to make. And listen to the contact house. And listen to the report of the officers of the house meeting. Mr. Fox gave no report. I would like to know why he didn't have a report. That's the first time I've heard of a board meeting with no report made by police chief.
Well, it's not the first time that the officers, police department is not getting a report. There's time that any department head don't have a report. So, I can't speak for him. I know he added some comments to different, reports. But as far as his report, I can't but I know there's time that none of the department don't have a report. And I never heard anybody say anything about it.
Well, I would have said it, I mean, I should have didn't get the opportunity, and I feel that it should have been some type of reporting, or to make it seem like we're doing so well, and that we're trying to make it on time. There's no report.
Anyone else?
Judy Katz here, and I'm basically on the same topic of conversation. Some of the things you said last week were very disturbing. First of all, you accused sergeants of taking squads away from the village across the state line and then filling them up at our pump. You got a police chief who does that all the time. Every day he's in Harvey and Dalton and running all over the place and filling up this car at our pumps. Nothing is said about that. I don't think he's put in a full 8-hour day since he's been appointed. He spent more time here, over here at this building than he does over at the police station. He wants a $15,000 bonus for doing his job. He's not qualified for what he's supposed to be doing, let alone given $15,000 for it. What is he doing? We have 2 squads covering this entire village. There were shots fired, not once, but twice in the same area on the same evening, and only 2 squads. We are going to have an officer down one of these days, and when they do, all hell's going to break loose in this town, and it's going to be your fault, Mayor, because you're allowing him to do it. If he's going to show you that he can cut that overtime by putting our officers in jeopardy, it's wrong. It is 100% wrong. And you could cut a lot of money if you would make him come to work and work 8 hours instead of running all over Dalton and Harvey. And I can prove he's there.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Last week's meeting, Larry Stewart, Sauk Village. Last week's meeting ended very abruptly. The meeting was rather disturbing. The board seemed to have fired our village manager, seemed as I understand it. We talked about how much money we don't have. I never hear you talking in excess of how much we have to where we can do things positive. I hear about a lot of negative things because of the lack of. If we can't afford something, don't spend what we don't have. We hired this village manager without thinking about it. We hired a police chief. I got a lot of things I can recommend you can spend money on. We don't have the money. A lot of things have been done foolishly under this administration in the open, wide-eyed, head and led by you, Mr. Mayor. We've got things I never dreamed I would see. I'm 63 years old, and this is unbelievable. This is gone. If we have the people in Sauk Village, which we're allowing a lot of them to do, just run rampant, spend what you don't have, live and don't care about things. I saw communities go down. That's why I came here. I hear communities going down right in my time. Country Club Hills. This is unbelievable. Sauk Village was a small village. If we can't afford it, cut it out.
It's really what Larry was talking about, and I don't know what is the problem that we keep, people passing around like lawsuits and things like this, calling, telling people about water and stuff like that. Because I've always said, and I've asked you 100,000 times, just show me one thing that positive that has been done in the village under your administration. You still won't do that to me. But when it comes to the police chief, the village manager, I think like, why is it that it makes the village look so bad at what they're trying to do or what is it trying to do? Do you believe what they're trying to do is good for the village or bad for the village? Mr. Mayor, do you believe what the village, what the board is doing is good for the village or bad for the village by trying to change and give a little to people?
It's bad for those.
It's bad for the village. In what way?
Absolutely bad for those.
In what way?
You got to have a village manager. We all know what we've been through.
Okay.
You asked me the question, now I'll make you finish.
Okay.
And we went through 2 years without a village manager. And, well, whatever, we went through the time without a village manager. And we all know what happens when there's no one, anybody reporting to. We see evidence of it. We know what happened with the police department, the crime went sky high, the home burglary went sky high, went through the roof, everywhere. I was receiving calls every day about people having their home broken into, not only one time. You heard it right here in this building. They came right here to the meeting and said to me, said to the board, my house has been broken into 3 times. Oh, that's stupid. You know that's not stupid. What would you think? How would you react if your home was broken into 3 times? And you telling me that we're doing a great job?
Okay. No, my question would be still, or have you found the money to pay these people? That's the thing.
Yes, sir, we found the money.
You found the money that you can afford to
We've
pay.
always had the money. It's up to the board to make a decision. The finance director gave us a way of saving money. The village manager we presented this to the board. I mean, this is no secret. You've been here every meeting. They've been giving us the opportunity and where we can save money at to hire. In fact, the village manager's salary already in the budget. I mean, why is that a problem? That's already in the budget. It's been budgeted for. So why would her salary be a problem?
I don't think the salary problem is the problem, it's the qualification of what she's doing is the problem. I don't think that the money, that's not the problem. What it is, Mr. Mayor, is this, is that you just take, for example, yourself. Every night, we have to have an attorney sitting next to you, and don't say this and don't say that. That shouldn't be by now. You still don't learn how to do that right now. The thing of it is this, if when she sat down and be the village manager, whatever she should do, and everything, I think what a mistake is being made is this. This is just my opinion about something like that. When a person comes here and says they can do a job, and you give them the chance to do the job, and turn to that board there, and say to them, is she doing a good job or not? You should listen to them. That's the only way I can see it then. Now, whether you got the money or not, the other week you said that, what was it? I think you pointed out something like $1.5 million, and based upon 2%, but then when you turn right back around and said 35% of litigation, you all that money up, like over $300,000 of water, then by my calculation, you already in the debt again, back in the debt again.
Before your 2 minutes up, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
You said that, and apparently you heard either a trustee or somebody say that the village manager was not doing the job. Apparently you heard that. So it is my understanding the reason the board is getting rid of the village manager is not because she's not doing the job, but her job is not in question, because we all know that she can do the job. Hell, she came from a place where she was doing the job. So that's telling me that she can't, unless you heard somebody say, no, I'm saying, you're the one saying that she can't do the job. So apparently you must have heard somebody say that she couldn't do the job. That's the reason they let her go. I haven't heard that that's the reason they let her go, is because she couldn't do the job.
Can I tell you where I got that from?
Absolutely.
Okay, fine. When she sat down and she said, I was going to do this on the tip, I was going to do that on the tip, and I was going to do this on the tip, what has she done then? Has she got the money from the tip to make payment for him? Has she got the money from the minister to get you out of there? Has she done that?
Yes, she's doing the job.
Not going to, I said, has she
She's
done it?
doing the job.
She done that?
She's done part of it, yes. She's part of all of it. You can't do in one day. You have to find out where the reason of where they have. Well, I don't have to tell you what, because there's more than that. Yeah, I got to tell it, I got to do it, you can take more than that. And she only been here, how long is it?
Who?
How long has the manager been here?
She's been here for about 6 months, haven't she?
Okay, so I said, and then part of that time, when the board have asked her to do a thing, the attorney, we all asked her to do things.
Well, that's
So
okay.
all we're asking is give all of them an opportunity to do the job.
When they ask her to do the job, will she do it?
Time.
Yes, sir, she's doing the job. Anyone else? Okay, let's move on to the miscellaneous business from the board of trustees.
I have a couple comments. I'd like to know where we are on any of the information that I asked about having before, since she doesn't also. I haven't received any emails, nothing in response to anything that I've asked for. Mr. Price's qualifications, where we are with him being able to carry a gun, if he's qualified to carry a gun, have we done any background checks, have we gotten any of that information? I'm just reading.
Speak up, please.
She said she gave that qualification to the mayor, and he has that. Okay. Do we have anything? I've emailed you several things. You received an email, I believe, on the 4th, which you never responded to.
I did see the email,
Right.
but I haven't received the emails probably.
I haven't sent them anymore because I never received a response to the first one. But you did say last week Tuesday that the mayor had qualifications regarding his ability to carry a gun.
Yes.
Which, because of the way things ended last week, I couldn't find the meeting was done. So I don't have that information. But do we have anything else around regarding a background check? We, the board, did address you to have Mr. Fox go to the police department and get fingerprinted for a background check. Has that been done?
No.
Well, the reason for the chief of police to go to your background, your own police department and your background.
We did discuss that in executive session, and we did discuss the surrounding areas within a 10-mile radius, how many police departments he could take a pick from. And we just, as a board, directed the village manager to, because of, like hierarchy in this village, and how, because Mr. Fox only wants to report to Ms. Turner, which that's his direct supervisor, that's fine. But as her direct supervisor, the board did address Ms. Turner to pass that on to Mr. Fox. And I was just wondering if you knew that, but the answer is no.
Anyone else? Okay, make a motion to recess the executive session. Okay, discuss personnel matter update pending litigation, with regard to matter, real estate employment compensation. Motion.
Second.
Motion and second. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Okay, the motion was from the second, Mr. Chavez.
Correct, Mayor.
Benson. Burgess.
Yes.
Chavez.
Yes.
Hanks.
Yes.
Myers. Williams.
Yes.
Come on.
What's going on, man?
So, because he said he's having his teeth done and he's not doing anything.
Ms. Cobb, did you send something to everybody stuff to the training board about my background?
I sure did.
Did they send you something back?
Yes, they did.
What they said?
Said you weren't qualified.
That's a lie. That's a complete lie. You know that's a lie.
I would lie to you, sir.
I would. What, can you show it to me?
I didn't bring it with me. Why don't you call me? I brought it with me.
Oh, I had mine with me though.
Is that funny?
No, I had mine with
You
me.
lie about
I said-
anything, Mr.
I see- I
I'm
see-
so embarrassed by your attitude.
I smile about everything. I don't have attitude. Because I'm gonna bow down. I'm gonna bow down. No, I'm going to do the job, and no matter what people have a personal interest, I'm going to make sure that. See, you don't make up the whole village. There's more people out here that deserve fairness and rightness than what you guys do. Hello. Yeah. I mean, I said. I don't know. You can ask me that.
Should I say something to you?
No, you said I don't know. You can ask me a question.
I said, you don't know. I was talking to her.
No, I'm saying, ask me again. I don't know.
I just said, you don't know, that's all.
Oh, just ask me and I'll answer. I'll say I'll do my best to give you a truth, not a lie.
Guess what? You gave me a truth the other week. Tomorrow, I'll look for your truth. No.
Because you asked me a question.
I didn't ask
What-
you a question.
What referendum has nothing to do with?
I said, I didn't ask you a
It's
question.
a bipartisan decision. It has anything to do
I
with
knew that from the
Republican or
beginning.
Democrat.
I tried to
But
tell you this.
people in third world countries and Africa
I told
are
you
fighting
this.
for clean drinking
I
water.
understand that.
Clean
I
drinking
told-
water. So,
Then that's what you want to say.
but the community next door to you, which is Fort Heights,
I
they have
understand
drinking
what
water.
you're
How
saying.
they're the poorest community in America. How do they afford drinking water? Y'all don't. Tell me that. I'm asking that question.
You asking me?
Yeah, because like you.
Why don't you go ask for an item?
I'm asking you. You
No.
You know.
That's Miles don't tell.
Oh, okay.
See, because you said something about when they kick your ass.
I ain't saying nothing.
Oh, okay. I said that. You didn't say it.
I'm
You
done.
open the door.
I'm done. I'm sure you heard me say that too, didn't you?
No, she did. I was going to me.
Listen,
And understand this.
let me tell you
I
something.
told you something, nigga. You'll learn something tomorrow.
I don't.
And guess what? I'm going to ain't got nothing to make a difference.
Who does not make a difference?
No robocalling, no false accusation. All we're going to do is vote our conscience and our pocketbook. Some people are voting
Your
other
conscience in
people.
your pocketbook. Just keep it simple. It's your pocketbook.
Well, guess what? Some people are voting
Talk
other
about your
people's pocketbook.
I think we can put that in there, but it's saying,
What's that?
conscience in your pocketbook.
Well, guess what? If you vote that you got the money, you should be able to pay for the neighbors. See, because that's what it's been for a long time in other above
Let
towns.
me ask you a question. I'm never considered
I know.
Sauk Village a Bucktown. Let me ask you just one key question. What's the future of this community?
I'm looking
What's
at
the future of this community?
I'm looking at it.
No, you're not. The future of this community is Rickover,
That's gone.
Wagons,
Gone.
Blue Tree. So you said the kids are gone?
Third grade. This is a third grade active school system.
Oh,
It
wow.
even be, oh, God.
You know what? You know
See,
what?
that's your same thing you did with the water.
Wow.
You know, you
I just asked
talk
you
about
a simple question. What is our future as children? That's what
Guess what?
right?
We
Yes
have-
or no?
I'm telling you what I know.
You just said
I go to the meetings regular. I go.
Listen, man. You know what? I got friends that grew up in Cabrini Green. That
Oh,
me.
God. Cabrini Green ain't that.
See, so you trying to tell me just because?
I've been with Cabrini Green when it was real. You talking about after it's gone. Think about what I just said.
No, what you just said shows me the level. I just said, what's our future? You couldn't even answer my question. The children.
I told you the future.
The children are. So what we
Oh,
do?
guess
what
what?
we- The
When
ground
children turn the school system around, it's not going nowhere.
Wow, you know.
See, I've been like, you're not listening to facts.
I'm married to an educator. You know, just to hear those words come out your
Oh,
mouth.
my
The
God.
kids,
You know what? You're married out of town. In town, you don't know nothing. And I told him, get to know something.
Education is worldwide. What are you talking about?
If it's not moving forward, it's staying.
Every Brown versus Board Education is a groundwork for education.
Every Sunday.
What are you talking about?
We're a third grade school system. Guess what? Like I said, I'm looking at the future of Sauk. And guess what? Not 2 out of 3 of them don't even deliver the town. I'm telling you, that's the future of Sauk. But guess what? I've seen communities go down. I've seen communities go down before.
You have. You live
And I got out before the crash, like some people don't.
Not really, but it's well, that's because the mayor wants.
come here for 30 minutes or 30 days and look at where I know all about Sauk Village. Believe me, if they wrong, it should just start. It ain't gonna get no better. And you can look and see what's left outside from up there, what's going there. And I'm not mistaken.
I wasn't here.
Are we not or are we a third-rate school system? We're not number one. We're not number two. We're actually fail. Our high school is a third-rate high school system. Believe me. I know. See, and you know, and the thing is, people don't get because point blank, if you want to go to the bottom of the barrel, this is it. You know, this is it. You know, it was fine as it was a poor, blue-collar community. Now we're spending money like we got it on. That's not what he said out there 3 years ago. We ain't got the money. I followed this 2 years ago.
You write the story today?
That would be one year.
I just have to do the first.
Yes, you are. I think that's very cool.
No matter what community you go with,
Don't try to enforce our news and our media. Let's do independent reporting.
Oh, you don't have no idea what independent reporting is. You have no idea. Neither one of y'all have no idea what it is. It's all about what's best for you. You just, but once you got someone no longer afraid of you guys. That's
Afraid of a poor community?
He's afraid of the people.
A poor community.
Threatened the people here last week.
I've
It's your job to do that.
I've never threatened anybody in my life.
I didn't say you did, sir.
Never have.
But
I just want.
All the time. All the time. All the time.
No, first time I've been
All the time.
I've never been engaged.
And I try to tell you, don't do that.
Now, see, I don't believe he was talking to you. He was talking to you.
I have my rights, and I wasn't talking to you.
these are our new committee people over here. They've come up with this act like we don't.
I'm talking to somebody else.
I had no time. Didn't understand the training board sent everything back.
But nobody talks about it.
Motion to reconvene the regular board meeting. Second. Comments? Clerk call the roll.
No, 1 second. Jesus, we can get 7:31 p.m. Benson. Burgess.
Here.
Chavez.
Yes.
Hanks.
Yes.
Myers. Williams.
Yes.
Okay, motion carried. And motion to adjourn?
No.
Mr. Mayor, we have items to discuss, and since you refused to release the videos from the executive session room, I think we can start discussing them here.
I'm actually the one that wanted to hold this executive session. New items were brought to light, which is another reason why I want to go in. I didn't want to go back and discuss the reason why Ms. Turner was at work today. From what I understand, she's been here all day. As I said in that room, I don't think it's right that we are having this meeting right now. I'm not real sure what the misunderstanding was. There was a letter that was prepared. There was a letter that was written. I know that her and she and another employee don't think that that's valid, but that's not for them to decide. we went her contract, which Ms. Turner reviewed, Ms. Turner signed. I'm not sure why she's here. I would like this board to move forward in directing the village attorney to do whatever they can, whether it's drafting a subsequent letter informing her of her need to return all passwords, all signature cards, all items, keys, everything else to the village mayor, village board as soon as possible. I would like a restraining order if possible put into place to make sure that she is not within public areas finance. There's no reason why she should be in the back. I think we already just need to understand that she's no longer an employee. So I would like, if this board can give that direction to the attorney, that is what I would like to have happen. And while I do have the floor, the other option I wanted to discuss in executive session is, which unfortunately we can't do now, is I understand that there was an email that was put out by the attorney firm I did not get. So I'm not sure what the email was for last week, Tuesday. You said we were going to discuss the email. Regardless of the fact, what I understand it was some sort of agreement or the possibility of agreement. What I would like this board to direct the village attorney to do is to resubmit the contract for the position of police chief, resubmit it to the candidate, understanding that what this board has decided, that is what this board has decided. That candidate, to my knowledge, has had that contract for over 2.5 months. I'm not sure it takes that long to make a decision. I would like a time limit put on that contract, the time limit being 48 hours. And what if there is not a consensus with the contract, if the contract has not been signed back by both parties, I would like to call a special call meeting for Wednesday so we can discuss this further. I think it's absolutely ridiculous that we have let somebody flap out in the wings, let their livelihood, let their abilities just slap by the wayside. And I think it's even more ridiculous that anybody in this room thinks that they have the ability to tell an entire board, an entire village, what they think that they deserve to be paid. That's absolutely ludicrous. It's not going to happen. So I think that the board has come to a number. The board has submitted that contract. 2.5 months is plenty of time to review it. I'd like an answer by Wednesday at 5. I'd also like the village clerk to post a special call meeting because we can discuss it at Wednesday at 7 o'clock. That's 48 hours time. I'm sorry, let's do Thursday if possible since we've already passed the 7 o'clock mark for Wednesday.
Thursday, 8? I mean,
You need 48 hours, Thursday at 7 is fine.
oh, Thursday, because this is on Monday.
Right.
So you want Thursday at 7, 48 hours.
48 hours notice
Is
is
that
fine.
acceptable, Mr. Attorney?
If I could, Mayor Board, the email that I thought was sent to everybody, you must not have got the attachment. It was a counter proposal or settlement offer from Chief Fox's attorneys. As you know, that matter is still pending in the Daily Center.
23rd council, is right?
I'm not sure why you're speaking, actually.
23rd council, be 23rd.
It's still pending. I was waiting. Last time I reported, I spoke to his attorney and asked for an updated proposal in writing. He said he'd get it to me by the end of the week. I didn't get one. I didn't get one the following week. So last week, I sent an email before the meeting indicating that, there's a village board meeting, giving some sort of proposal. And his attorney did reach out and give me a written proposal, and that's why I emailed it to everyone. Why you didn't get the attachment, I don't know. You didn't get it either. Okay, I apologize. It's not a simple. Press the right button. I'll get it to everybody, but it contains language as far as a dollar amount, some figures, and they're looking to resolve the lawsuit. To resolve it, it would, of course, come to the terms of the chief's contract, and they're also looking for all of their attorney's fees to be paid. It's tied in together. So it's not a matter of, I don't think it's as simple as giving the chief 48 hours to decide on the contract and the dollar amount that's been countered, or whatever the village's counter to the chief would be. You also have to consider the chief's attorney's fees, which I think I've indicated the amount to you in executive session previously, and I'm sure they've gone up since then.
I would still like to have a special call meeting for Thursday. I would like to know exactly what's going on and what the update is on Thursday, and I'd like to get this contract either resolved and signed as soon as possible, or I would like to have this board be informed that the contract is not being resolved, and therefore we need to make other steps.
I don't think it's necessary for a call meeting. The attorney is still handling it, it's still in litigation. Whenever the attorney gets the information, you pass it on.
And be that as it may, I understand your ability to call a special call meeting, but as a board, we, 3 or more trustees, have that same ability. So I'm asking for a special call meeting to be placed on the agenda for Thursday at 7 p.m. After the village clerk does create that, I will sign it, and I invite 2 other trustees to sign it as well.
By the village, there was a salary that was offered to Chief Fox. And it's uncomfortable doing this out in the open, so I'm trying to be careful, but and that's why we got a counter from his counsel, but they're tying in their billing, or their attorney's fees, which are significant. I don't know if the mayor of the board has ever really addressed that. We haven't really gotten to the idea of paying his attorney's fees in whole or in part, given that you haven't even reached an agreement on what the chief's salary is.
Well, I'm under the fact that we're not going to pay the attorney fees because the chief took the position knowing that he was not getting paid. So the answer is no to the attorney fees. The offer that was made still stands, and there's no other additional changes to the contract that's presented.
We can continue to go on and back and forth, just like the village attorney advised the board of what is going to happen with the chief of police position, and also stated clearly to the board that the village is going to be responsible for these attorney fees. I mean, you can sit here and listen to Trustee Hanks talk about we're not going to pay. We all know we're going to pay. The village is going to incur these fees. They're going to have to pay for it. I mean, it's the same old rhetoric that this board has been putting this building through from day one. They continue to allow the village attorney to represent the village and pay these higher fees when the village attorney is telling them we shouldn't be doing it. And it just appalls to me every time that we continue. Right now, we know we're going to pay the village is going to have to pay these fees. So why don't we settle this thing and get it over with? But Hanks want to continue to lead the village and put the village in harm's way the way he had signed off on a number of different things in the past. And it is if we're going to be able to stop this madness and try to stop some of this nonsense, we have to stop it now. We can't continue to allow the citizens of the village to pay for unnecessary fees that should never have to occur.
Hey, Mr. Mayor, I am only one vote on this board. So well, you know, it's pretty sad because you're not. And you're supposed to be the one leading board. So, Mr. Mayor, if I was you, I'd be ashamed of myself and I'd resign. But, Mr. Mayor, I think what needs to be, what's important here is that we have attorneys wanting attorney fees because of a position that you pointed that was not part of the budget, that was not appropriated for, and you were told, Mr. Mayor, that there was no appropriations for this position. So the village and its residents were sued because of actions by you. So, Mr. Mayor, it makes it very clear that actions due to an appointment that you made cause the taxpayers this burden. And Mr. Mayor, I'm just saying we're going back and forth, and I made my statements very clear that I am not in favor of paying for the attorney fees because the individual, when they were hired, they knew that they were not getting paid. It was mentioned at multiple meetings, and if they wanted to get an attorney on their own to try to get paid, it was up to them. So the money should come out of their pocket, and we've already made an amount that we're going to pay. The individual can say yes or no. That's what the payment is going to be, and there's already a contract that they can either say yes or no to. And again, I'm only one vote.
I have a question for the attorney. With Ms. Turner being relieved of her position. I'd like to know what is the hierarchy or the chain of command that for the rest of the department heads. It's not appropriate, I'm not sure. But, does it go to the mayor then?
Yes, ma'am.
I was talking to the attorney. Okay.
As far as the department heads?
Yes.
The department heads would report to the mayor.
Okay, I would like a letter to be either drawn up by the attorneys or the village clerk to inform the department heads of their direct supervisor at this point in time, since there is nobody in the village manager position. I think that it's important to let them know exactly who they report to, if there's any concerns, if there's any questions, we need to make sure that they know who to contact.
Also, let the record show that this Turner will be on, in a working capacity tomorrow. As village attorney, village manager.
Mr. Mayor, again, the question is asked, what authority do you have to appoint an administrative position according to state statute? Because this is an administrative position, and we're asking, you haven't provided the board with what authority gives you this?
The authority to appoint the village manager because of the position is vacant. The village manager is the position that can be appointed every 30 days as a temporary position.
And Mr. Mayor, state statute makes it very clear about officers. The village manager in Sauk Village is not an officer. You eliminated that position when you came on board in 2009. June of 2009, you had the village manager's position removed, and it was reappointed by the chief of staff. Again, the one trustee has already directed the village attorneys to move forward on legal action. This is another trustee that's asking for the attorneys to move forward, and we'll make it part of the record. And looking for 2 more trustees, or any other trustees that will also move forward, ask the attorneys to move forward.
Mr. Mayor, I have a question, 2 questions that I was going to address in the back, but I guess I'll ask them now. First question, do you plan on suing the village? Yourself, Mayor, do you plan on suing the village? You made a statement at the last meeting that you will sue the village. I'm just asking you, are you still planning on suing the village? I'm not, this is, wait and see is an answer? Wait and see is an answer. No, I'm not addressing that.
At this point, wait and see.
What kind of answer is that, sir?
Because I'm not sure.
Okay.
Wait and see. You get here.
But you just made a statement that this board is working against, this board is taking money out of the taxpayers' pocket. You made a statement this board is not trying to move forward. I asked you a direct question. You know whether or not what you're going to do. What you're waiting on, why tomorrow, I don't know. I don't know why. Could it be because of flyers that are going around? I don't know. I'm asking you a question, and you're telling me wait and see, but you just made a dissertation. You just got to talking about what this board is not doing, who's leading what, where we're taking the taxpayers' money, we're throwing it away, and all I asked was that question. Okay, I'll leave that alone since you gave that answer, sir. Because it has a lot, this is taxpayer. No, your answer was your answer. Okay, your answer. I'm not dressing it up. I'm not dressing it up. I am not dressing. I asked a direct question. No, I want you to say what you said. Okay. I'm going to my next question, sir. You gave that answer, whatever that was, but you gave that answer. My next question, since you still have the village manager, and you still going to keep her in the position, or that's what you plan on doing, I made a request a month ago. Then again, I made a request 3 weeks ago. Then I made a request last week that a reprimand be put into the chief's file. I talked to the village manager at that time about having a reprimand put into the chief's file of insubordination. I explained to the village manager at the time, and also explained to the chief why I wanted to do that. I asked the village manager at that time, and she told me last meeting, well, not last meeting, but last week she told me that she would do that. I still haven't seen that. So I'm asking again, with you here, with you listening, that I would like to have one put in there. That's my second thing that I'm at. This is something I want to put in. It was something that was done.
This may be another example of insubordination, why the letter to one who
Yes.
That was the second thing that I don't know. Only one person I know is above the law. Believe it or not, we don't see him, who the higher up. Everyone else has someone they have to account to. Everyone else in this world has someone they have to account to. So by someone saying that that you can't put that in their file, I don't know. If they feel that way, fine. I'm asking as a trustee to have that done because it was done. The insubordination was done in my presence. The last thing I would like to direct to the village clerk and the board, I would like to have on the next committee meeting, I would like to discuss bringing back 2 code enforcement officers. Summertime's coming. It seems like summertime now. It's coming. At least they will generate some money, since we seem to have a lot of it. So while we're doing this windfall, and while we're doing all these other things that we're bringing back, and the money seems to be rolling in, we said a long time ago that if we got any money, you just said there's money. So when we got any money, the first thing we were going to do was bring back code. Well, I would like to see that happen. I, for one, want to discuss how we have to, which we have to amend the budget to open that department back up and insert 2 code officers. So I would like to put that on the next committee meeting so we can go about trying to get that, to make that happen before summertime. Next meeting will be in April, so therefore we can have this all done by the end of April. So when May turns around, we'll have people out there on the street. Because anyone that walks through this street, and I'm sure you've been through this street many times, Mayor, you can see the condition. We have no checks and balances. That's the last thing. Thank you.
Let me address this. How in the heck are you talking about amending the budget for the code enforcement, but yet still you want to lay off?
You just said we have money, sir. You just made the statement that
we have money to keep the
we must have money. Oh, so you're saying we don't need code?
I'm not saying we don't need anybody. I'm saying we do need a village manager to run the day-to-day operation.
You've already made that clear, sir. You've already said what you're not going to do. You already said that you are going to appoint. I'm not arguing with you about that. No, I'm not. I want to bring back code.
If I'm talking, then you have to write in over because you allowed me to talk and you finished up. And I'm trying to see you now. Where are we going with this? You're saying that you're laying off the village manager because it's finance reasons, but yet still you want to amend the budget. Let her go, so we don't have anybody to run the day-to-day. It's clearly that this is a pile of, something that my instinct is telling me that you're feeding not only me, but the village residents too. It's not that you let the village manager go because of finance. We all know that. We know that the board is playing games with that part of it. But here's a clear example of it when you say we want to let the village manager go. Let her go. But yet still, we don't want to amend the budget for her salary. Her salary is already in the budget. We don't want to amend the budget. We don't want to do anything. We want to let her go because of finance reasons. But yet still, we want to amend the budget and bring back 2 code enforcement. It's something you got to talk about both sides of your mouth there.
Okay, I'll talk off one side, sir. I'm fine. I'll make it a little clearer.
I can't see that you're going to let the person go that's going to run the day-to-day operation of the village, who has been very instrumental in running the village, and actually the board, if we get back to this, the board, the one brought her in here, so you all say, So now all of a sudden she was okay when you brought her in, but now she's not okay since she's been around the building. But the reason we want to let her go is for financing. But we want to amend the budget to bring back some code enforcement.
Okay. Now, that picture that you painted, it's you know, it's a picture. But we're going to go all the way back. All the way back. The reason that we didn't have money, yes, the village manager's job was budgeted. Yes, it was. At the time that we asked you, could we put together a committee to go out and search for a village manager, you didn't want to attend the meetings. We, as a board, came and we interviewed several people for that position, along with the person that was put in that position as a consultant for the village manager to help run day-to-day operations at the time that we actually brought back to help out that you didn't want at the time because you felt that this person lost us money, along with another trustee felt that this person put this village in a hole, but then this person came back to help train the village manager and help try to bring this village back. Now, that money was budgeted for that village manager. What wasn't budgeted was the money for the police chief. You were there when we did the budget. You did not at one time say, you know, put some money in for, I want an outside chief. I need some money for an outside chief. That was never brought up by yourself. But it was waited until after the fact that we said, Mr. Mayor, we don't have money for an outside police chief. You went through this whole dissertation, well, nobody wants to work with this, and I can't work with this, and we went through all that, fine and dandy. Now you're saying that we want to get rid of. So if we were told point blank by yourself that if we hired this particular person as village manager, you yourself would sue the very next day. That's what you said. Then when we did hire this person, your grants, as you talk about somebody's grant, you said, well, you know something, I thought I'm not going to do that. I was going to sue, but I didn't. I was thinking at the time, wonder why. But, you know, I said, okay, fine. I'm glad that he's finally seeing the light, that he's finally getting on board. Maybe we'll try to move this village forward. Then you went out and hired, or wanted to hire a police chief. We asked you not, we didn't have the money, and you did it anyway. You did it anyway, took money away. Then you went and asked the finance director to find us some money. That we were going to use it arbitrarily through smoke and mirrors, that we were going to bring overtime down, wait for taxes to come through, and hopefully somebody would drop off a bag of money at the village hall. Maybe that'll take care of whatever it may be. But this is what we were looking at with the village manager and the village finance director. Looked and found ways to use this money. And I said at the beginning, we cannot pay salaries on overtime because overtime is arbitrary. Now you're saying that this village is getting rid of a person that you said was budgeted, which is true. But it was not because that this person was we didn't have the money because of your appointment. So since you've made the statement that your appointment doesn't matter, that you still feel that there's money there, I'm just making a proposal of bringing back 2 people for code enforcement, which I'm sure you rode around this village within the last 2 days extensively, and you see that we need someone out there with these homes, someone out there with these apartments or these other buildings that are run down, that they need to have checks and balances. They need to get out there. Code needs to do their job, which will bring revenue in. But as soon as I said that, what do you say? Where are you going to go? See, we take 1 step forward, you want to run back 2 steps behind, because now you're saying, oh, now there's money. You said it yourself, that you're not getting rid of, that you're going to appoint every 30 days a village manager. Fine and dandy. I didn't go against that. I just listened to you. But now when I tried to bring forth something that you said yourself right after the budget, that even though we got rid of code, that we're going to, as soon as we get some money, last year you made the statement, we're going to bring code back. No, we didn't. We brought a police chief in. So I'm saying, maybe you forgot, so I'm just asking this board to consider, and that's all it is, this board to consider bringing back code for this summer, because I don't want to go another summer without someone out there, checks and balances, these homes out there that are in disarray that we need to take care of. And that's all I'm asking. I'm not trying to go grandstand, all the other stuff you're talking about, sir. I'm talking about something that needs to be done. If we move this village forward right now, And that's one thing we need. Ask anyone that lives out there, that lives there, do we need checks and balances when it comes to these homeowners not taking care of their homes?
I agree with you. I agree.
So excuse me, Mr. Mayor, please, can I just say, just make one statement, sir? And then this happened the second time. And it is really, because I wouldn't allow it myself. When you're at a meeting and someone walks up and whispers, that's very rude. I mean, why do you have to walk? If it's something that's for the village should know about it. But to whisper, sir, when you're at an open board meeting, I think it's really rude. And that's all I'm saying, sir. But you go ahead.
Will you tell him like you just
Both times I walked up to talk to the mayor, we had 2 shootings, and I was letting them know what the shooting was. But I'm not going to say it to the whole board meeting, so I was letting them know that we had 2 shootings and where they are right now. If you need to know that, so that's what we were doing. That's what I was doing.
Okay, now let me go back then, because it's so we don't leave on this all night. I don't have a problem with the code enforcement. We've been saying it all the time that we need a code enforcement. But how can you bring a code enforcement? You're going to amend the budget for a code enforcement, then who they're going to report to? I mean, you're taking away the day-to-day operation of the building, who positions already in the building, in the budget. So if you're going to bring back the code enforcement, leave the village manager position in place, and then amend the budget to bring back the code enforcement. I don't have a problem with that. But and you're right that I said I was going to sue at the time when the board took away and made the ordinance to give themselves to hire the village manager. You're absolutely correct. I said at that time to the village manager, the village attorney, who advised me not to sue. I said at that time to the village manager, this shit's gonna come back to haunt me. And evidently, I said to the village manager, the village attorney, who said village manager? I said to the village attorney who advised me not to sue. I was already everything in place to go to court. The village attorney said, we think we got a good person here. We come from a place, I wouldn't sue them. I took their advice and told them that this shit going to come back to haunt me. And exactly what is happening right now.
Yeah, I guess so. Mr. Mayor, I think the trustee pointed it out very eloquently, if you want to call it. It's smoke and mirrors. Last week we heard that we have $216,000 in the account. However, we've borrowed $300,000 from our water fund. And if you do the math, that puts us about $100,000 in the red, not including all the additional invoices sitting on the back desk that have not been paid for suppliers and things like that. So we are currently in all ways looking at, we're seeing in the red. Even though you want to say we have money in account with smoke and mirrors, there is no money there. And I understand what the trustee's saying. He's saying, well, Mr. Mayor, if we have the money, then let's bring code enforcement back. And he asked for the next committee meeting so we can discuss if there's a way to bring it back. I think we're going to find, even if you bring it back to the table, we're still going to find a hard time trying to bring code enforcement back because the money is not there. So I think that we just need to realize, they made it very clear that within the next month or two, probably the next couple months, we will have to continue borrowing money from the water fund just so we can run the day-to-day operations because the money's not there. So as long as the residents are aware of it, and that's not including the $600,000 plus that we have to come up with that it seems like everyone's been trying to hide and keep from the residents before we vote on the water referendum tomorrow. But, there's additional $600,000 plus that we have to pay back because a bond under your administration, Mr. Mayor, was not paid. So, again, you're looking at either raising the tax levy or looking at ways to take additional money from the residents. So, again, more items that were not budgeted, not including the additional legal fees that has not been budgeted for. So there is things that we're not budgeted for and we're going to end up paying for. And I think when you ask and you put the financial director on, he's on pins and needles anyway. He's afraid what he's going to say he's going to get fired, or he doesn't want to say the wrong thing, he doesn't want to offend someone. When he asked, when asked, do we have the money in there right now? Yeah, we have the money in there right now. You have $216,000 in the account. But really, it's $100,000 in the red, plus the additional invoices we have sitting on the back desk.
You're right about the finance director being on pins and needles, and I don't blame him. If I had a position and every time I say something out of line or disagree with the trustees and get reprimanded or get some days off or threaten to be let go, I would be on hand in the end too. I mean, every employee that come in under this administration, my administration, every one of them has been challenged and pretty much threatening of their job if they don't comply with this board of trustees, these 5 votes. So yeah, I'll be on hand in the end too.
No, I think that's very good.
That's not true, Mr. Mayor. Don't put that out there. Don't put that out there.
He continues to lie.
Don't put that out there, sir. No record. Nobody's threatened no employee. I've never threatened no employee. I've never threatened any employee. I asked for a disciplinary action, but I never threatened an employee with their job. I don't know where you get that from. I've never threatened an employee. I've asked for action to be taken, but never threatened, sir. Never threatened. I've never threatened an employee on any regards. Never threatened. I made statements. I made comments. Yes, I have. I've even talked to other employees and asked them to change some of the things that they're doing because they're not looking professional. Yes, I have. But to threaten an employee with their job, no, sir. That's a total lie. I've never done it. I like to just bring it on, sir. Just bring whatever employee you feel it is to tell them that I said that. I'm not talking about Trustee Hanks. I'm telling you.
I'm not making my comment. Trustee Hanks made the statement that the good managers don't. Certainly he is. I will be too.
I just have a question.
I've never done it.
When have we ever discussed getting rid of the finance director? It was brought up in a set of money ideas to pay for fines that was brought up by the village manager. But it was never discussed this board. You talk about the finance director being worried about his job and being on pins and needles because he was going to get fired. I think it's just really important to know, and if department heads don't know, I think they need to know that the administrative positions that are hired by this board get fired by this board. And as far as I know, this board has never entertained firing Mr. Rao. I know that the former village manager, Ms. Turner, did say that she's been fielding calls for him to get new jobs, and she said that he's just, he's so nervous, which is funny because when I talk to him, I don't get that. It's funny. When I ask him, and I've asked other people, I don't get that. I was told by Ms. Turner that I was the one that was scaring him, and it's funny because I never got that before she came, and I never got that information. I just think it's funny that, like you say, that there are many people who have worried about their jobs since the day of the election. April 5th, 2009, we had multiple people worried about their jobs. You also stated that you would feel bad, too, if you were an employee that was just trying to do their job, and every time you took a day off, people would talk about you. I think we may want to retract Mr. Levis, Officer Levis. I mean, you put the man in the position. Now, you wouldn't never appoint him and give him his rightful title or his rightful salary. I'm sorry. I was talking. You appointed him. What the board and yourself decided was 5 sergeants in a row, they hashed out. That's what they did. The person that they brought to the table was who you appointed as temporary police chief, and you directed the village clerk to swear in as temporarily appointed police chief. That was you who read that. That was you who asked the village clerk to call for a roll. That was you that directed the village clerk to then swear him in. But every time he took a vacation, it was a problem. You sat here in an open board meeting, along with Trustee Benson, who was unfortunately not here to defend himself, has sat here multiple times and talked about his overtime, talked about his time off, regardless of the fact that he's worked here for 28 years, I believe. And if you're right, it has nothing to do with it, except for the fact that each year you're here, you accrue more vacation time, each and every year. So if he has it, we're going to pay for it either way. We're going to pay for it in a big lump sum when he leaves, which we don't have the money to write that kind of check. Or we're going to allow him his due time. That's what has to happen. The choice is yours, the choice is his. All I know is the choices are mine. But I just don't think it's fair to talk about people who aren't here. You think the board is putting this around in a situation? You're talking about this man being so scared, he's not even here to confirm or deny it. He's not even here to do that.
I didn't bring it up.
You yourself said the finance director is scared. He can't even take a day off of work.
No, you didn't hear me say that.
Oh,
You didn't hear me say
that wasn't true.
They're taking a day off. I didn't say nothing like that to come out of my mouth.
You did not mention, as in regards to the finance director, taking any time off and shaking because he's. I must have been in a different meeting.
I counted what Trustee Hanks said.
You're right.
You're right.
You're absolutely. I don't know why.
I didn't see no time of him taking days off.
But you did say, Mr. Mayor, you did say last week when we asked you, you said that you had other recommendations how we could save money in salary. And I asked you point blank, how could we save money, whose salary we could cut? First thing came out your mouth, you said mine. I'm like, I don't think anybody wants to work for what I get paid. So I asked the second question, who do you think, whose job we can get rid of? And you said Ms. Gibbons. Now you didn't say that? Okay, so now you think that's not a direct yes.
So I shouldn't have said it?
No, you said it. You said what you felt. So I'm saying, but that doesn't. You don't think that kind of makes a person, be a little apprehensive?
I didn't say this. I said that.
You just agreed that you said it.
I said that.
I think we should start thinking before we speak.
No, if you look at the record, I said there's a position. And I didn't call anybody name. First time I heard a name was the name.
No, it's not, sir. Yes, you did, sir. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. On the record, yes, you
I
did.
said there's a position in the police department.
You said her name, sir. You said her name. Okay.
Thinking before we speak, stop.
That's okay. I'm through. We can move on. Yes, please.
All right. Anybody else?
I do have something to report that we, since we're on miscellaneous, I guess, or comments on the board. Next committee meeting also, Ms. Village Clerk, we need to, the law firm for the negotiations needs to come to the executive session and give an update to the board what's going on with the TCOs and the police officers. So she wanted to have a minute or a few minutes before the meeting, or after the meeting started, for an executive session so she could present to what's the update for the negotiations. So she'd like that on the first board meeting. April. The first committee meeting of April.
I would kind of suggest that maybe she comes in early and meets with a couple of trustees at a time. Because I'm at the point now that until we get this worked out, I'm no longer going into executive session for anything as long as the mayor continues to have civilians in the back room. If we have to have her come in and talk to a couple of trustees at a time, from now on, everything we cannot hear. So if we're going to have civilians in the back room, I'll let the residents who pay the taxes here hear what's going on.
I'm not sure that we need to have civilians in the back room, because as I understand it, I believe that, I know myself, I did ask for support from the board, that as of tomorrow, there should be nobody in the village manager's office. And I was just waiting for the trustees to finish their comments because there was no resolution. Because I expect if I call up here tomorrow at Village Hall, and I ask to speak with Ms. Turner, I'm going to be told that she's no longer employed here. That's what I'm expecting. I'm expecting that there will be nobody in her office. I'm expecting that whoever will answer the phone will let me know that she's no longer here. And if that's not going to happen, I need to know why. Because we've already discussed that the mayor sat idly by and let this ordinance be enforced. The ordinance the board brought to the table, the ordinance the board voted on. The ordinance that states the board has the right to appoint the administrative position of the village manager. Since the mayor spearheaded in 2009 the removal of the village manager as an officer, then created the ordinance for the chief of staff, which then was overturned by this board. This board took upon themselves in 2011 to pass an ordinance for the administrative position. We look back at state statute. The mayor cannot appoint to an administrative position. He can only appoint an officer. Since he himself spearheaded that in 2009, he has no abilities. So, since the board sat here, went through a contract, we went through the hiring process without the mayor because he chose not to be a part of it. He threatened to sue us up until the point of appointing Ms. Turner. At that point in time, and only God knows why, he chose not to do that. So, the fact that he's been working with Ms. Turner in the village manager position under the contract that he reviewed, this board reviewed, and she reviewed, from November until now, in my opinion, means that he not only understood the ordinance, but understood how it was ratified, agreed with it, and worked with it up until this point. Therefore, working with that ordinance means he worked with the contract that, again, he reviewed, Ms. Turner reviewed, legal reviewed, and this board reviewed. All of those who reviewed understand that item number 7 said either party can terminate said contract for any reason with a 30-day written notice. That written notice was given out on February 15th. Therefore, her last day was March 15th. I have no idea why she was employed today. But I do want to make sure that she is not employed tomorrow because she will not be getting paid for today. She is not an employee. She is an honored guest to sit at this table. That is her position here tonight. She will not get paid for today because she is no longer on payroll. And again, I'd like to know how that's going to be enforced. Because I would like to say that if she shows up to work, I'd like to direct our employees to call the police department. I'm not sure we have much assistance in removing her. So I need to know if I know the vote. I know the vote because your insubordination is just fluid, it's liquid. So I'd like to know what we're planning on doing tomorrow if and when this poor woman tries to come to her former employment and she has none.
I think what's important to realize too is the village board overruled the mayor's veto over a contract. The contract, which the trustee made very clear, stated that the contract could be ended with cause or without cause. The board went without cause, issued a 30-day notice. So Ms. Turner no longer has employment here in Sauk Village. There is no contract. The contract, she's been dismissed according to paragraph number 7, if I recall, in her contract. So it would be almost like we have other contractors working for us, and we end their contract, and they say, well, I'm going to keep on coming to work, and you're going to continue paying me. You're sending a wrong message to contractors, especially the ones that are working for this village, because you're telling any contractor, if you want to continue getting paid, just keep on showing up. There's nothing anyone can do about it. So Ms. Turner no longer has a contract. Her contract ended as of last Friday.
The village attorney at the time stated that the board has no power to enact an ordinance if we are not on rule. That ordinance that the board put together is not developable. So by that power, I have been appointed the village manager as temporary village manager for the next 30 days.
Mr. Mayor, you stand there and lie again. I can't believe you continue to lie to the residents. The attorneys have already informed us that our ordinances are on the book and they stand as is, and our ordinances are valid. Now, I know you refuse to let the attorneys talk because you don't want them to contradict you, but the attorneys are sitting right next to you, and again, last week I yielded the floor to the attorneys and you refused to let the attorneys talk. But the attorneys have made very clear that our ordinances on the book are clear and valid, and they stand as is. Our attorneys never told us at any time that the ordinances that were being passed were invalid. You just continue to lie to the residents, and it's sad because you don't know the truth if you saw it.
Okay, need a motion to adjourn?
No, I want to hear the
I still
attorney.
don't have an answer.
I want to hear from the attorney.
Need a motion to adjourn?
I want to hear from the attorney.
Need a motion to adjourn?
I require the attorney to give his to give a statement.
Need a motion
On
to
the
adjourn?
ordinance.
Is it?
All in favor?
No, there's no second.
Motion to adjourn.
There's no. You can't.
Mr. Attorney, can you please
That's fine. Wait. I need someone to
I make a
appoint.
motion to appoint Trustee Hanks as Mayor Pro Tem to continue this meeting.
I second.
There's a motion on the floor. Please call it. Those trustees call roll.
That motion?
Yeah, for that motion.
Benson. Burgess. I said yes, I can't hear you. Yes.
Yes.
Hanks.
Yes.
Myers. Williams.
Yes.
Okay, Robert Chavez, okay.
Okay, since the meeting is still moving and the mayor has left, I'm requesting that the village attorney give an update on the mayor's power and to appoint this position and about our ordinances, concerning our ordinances.
Attorney.
Go ahead.
And as far as the village's position, it's the same position.
He's been appointed, he's been told to give a statement.
I've had already adjourned.
No, you can't. You can't.
You can't even have a meeting without a board.
He does not second to adjourn.
But there was no vote there.
You cannot adjourn up. No.
You asked for a motion to adjourn the meeting. You received no motion. You received no second.
Wait, no.
No.
You cannot.
Actually, at this point in time, he is now
Temporary
chair of
appointment
this
is
meeting.
now chair.
Trustee Hanks is now the temporary chair of this meeting because the mayor chose him.
No, this meeting's not over. No, you cannot. No, you're not, sir. Sir, can you please have a
Round of applause, please have a seat.
Please have a seat, sir. Please have a seat, sir. The appointed mayor right now is temporary appointed is now Hanks, sir.
I have the attorney.
You have no power over this.
The attorney.
Please sit down and know your role.
The attorney, please give a statement.
As far as the village's position, it's the same position as stated in the executive session. That there is the ordinances, we've always instructed the village that the ordinances on the books are presumed valid. That's just the law. Ordinances, laws, state laws, federal laws are challenged all the time, and they're valid until they're challenged in a court of law. You have to follow the ordinances. And the ordinances that you have on the books, it's a regular progression. In 2000, there was a village manager position in the village on the books. And that was changed when the chief of staff ordinance was enacted, and that position was eliminated. Went on for a couple of years. When that chief of staff individual was terminated, the board passed an ordinance eliminating that position. So the village manager position would not even longer being vacant until last June, when the village board passed the ordinance giving the village board sole authority to appoint, terminate, and set the terms and conditions of employment for the village manager position. We were not the village attorneys at the time. We didn't give any instruction as far as home rule or not home rule. It's an ordinance and it's valid. After the ordinance, there was a contract with Ms. Turner. It was reached an arm's length agreement. It contains a provision for 30 days written notice for no cause to terminate the agreement. That 30-day written notice was given to her back in February 13th. The board made the motion. The written notice was given on the 15th. The mayor properly vetoed that. The board then overrode the veto properly. It goes back, or refers back to the time period of when the initial motion was made in the written notice. So as I said, our position, the ordinance is valid. Ms. Turner was given proper notice, and her last day of employment was last Friday.
Thank you. Can you also give the board a summary on power the mayor has to appoint an administrative position, and does he have the power to do that?
For a village manager position, you're not a management form of government. There's different types of municipalities. To be a management form of government, you have to change your rules and your laws by going to referendum. That's not how this municipality is set up. You're a trustee mayor form of government. He has certain powers. We went through it with Chief Fox's appointment. There's certain positions that are laid out by the state legislature that cannot be taken away from the mayor. The village manager position is not one of those positions.
Thank you. Is there any other questions for the attorney?
Yes, I have a question, sir. May I ask?
Trustee?
Sir, obviously, there's going to be altercations tomorrow. I'd just like some direction for the village board, which way we should go. We know we have an insubordinate police chief who only backs up the mayor. He will follow the mayor's orders to the T, even if that means allowing a civilian to come in to do manager duties, which she is now terminated from. If this person is in the building tomorrow and we cannot even get a police escort because of its insubordination, what is the village here now to do according to the law? That way we're in the right if we have to go to court.
Well, let me just first state, I hope there's no incident. I kind of had a feeling that there might be something happening today, and I think I spoke to a few people and said, hopefully there's no confrontation, because you don't know that you're affecting people's livelihoods, and it gets emotional, and you don't want any pushing, shoving. I think it's how to be dealt most appropriately in the court of law. You go to the court of law, there's a winner and there's a loser. So I don't know how it's going to shake out completely, but I believe that the village ordinance and the contract would be upheld, and I would suggest that you ask a court for basically an injunction ruling that it's a valid contract, that the terms of the contract are followed, notice was given, and that Ms. Turner is not a village manager.
And we'll move forward on that.
But that can be done rather quickly. You go for an emergency or temporary restraining order, which can be done, and you might be able to get an order within 24 to 48 hours, and then you go for a preliminary injunction or a ruling, and then a declaratory judgment, which can take weeks or months.
Do we ask you to start that up?
As I stated, I don't do anything unless I'm told or advised to do it by consensus of the corporate authority.
Can we have a consensus of the board that if this happens tomorrow, he can move forward with the restraining order?
We are 15 trustees.
Yeah, I think we need to start this process because we know it's going to happen. And whether or not, I don't think we can wait to see if she walks in the door tomorrow, because she may not walk in the door tomorrow, but she may walk in the door Wednesday. So I think that we just need to start this process. We see that her last day was Friday and she still came to work. So I think that we have a mayor who's being insolent and ignorant of the laws. We have a police chief who has openly stated that he does not support what the board is doing, and no, he will not be there to assist this board in our decision making. So that just exemplifies his insubordination. So I think that we need to do everything that you just stated. Receive the injunction, try to get the injunction. Also, make sure that we have a temporary restraining order against her, and a letter that needs to go out to the mayor and the board and Ms. Turner, former village manager, for our request to return all items that are village related.
I know that we have two already on the floor that have stated. Does anyone else want to? We can take an informal, let's do a consensus. Okay, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll wait to item number 7 for formal action. Are we done with this? We can move to adjournment from the reconvened meeting. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
We have a motion.
Second.
There's a second. Go short, please call roll.
Benson. Burgess.
Yes.
Chavez.
Yes.
Hanks.
Yes.
Myers. Williams.
Yes.
Item number 5, need a motion to reconvene special board meeting.
So moved.
Second.
A motion and a second. Go short, please call roll.
Benson. Burgess. Chavez.
Yes.
Hanks.
Yes.
Myers. Williams.
Yes.
I'm going to ask that item number 6, we have I'll table if we're going to go past that. I'd rather not go back into executive session. Is that okay? Since we've been talking about it here. Okay, so we'll pass item number 6. We'll move to item number 7. Formal action be taken. Is there a motion on the floor for the attorneys to move forward on litigation for term? Is that what we're about? Is there any official term?
Motion to take any appropriate legal remedies to enforce the village ordinance.
Okay, we have a motion.
So moved.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Village clerk, please. Question, comments?
I made the motion, Chavez seconded.
Silence.
Any questions or comments? Village clerk, please call roll.
Benson. Burgess. Chavez.
Yes.
Hanks.
Yes.
Myers. Williams.
Yes.
What did William say?
All right, motion carries. With that, I have a motion for adjournment.
I just have a question for clarification, and that means that we're gonna start this process, starting tomorrow, and then if she does happen to come to work, we are to let it go, Mr. McGrath?
Yes, I think what we need to do is, I would advise the trustees that we don't want any confrontations with the former village manager, and we should let the attorneys take the proper legal action that needs to be done and let the courts make the decision. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right.
Are we to advise all our employees not to respond to her commands?
Well, I tell you what, let's go through the legal system first, and once we have the formal restraining order, then we can go ahead and start making those. Is that correct? Yes. Proper. All right, is there any further questions? Move for adjournment. Got a motion? Got a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Meeting adjourns.